So, as you can see with the heading, guys, we are going to delve deep on this one this evening. So, do you struggle to explain the industry to people who ask the question, you know, what is it that you do? So, good evening, Yvonne. Good to have you on. Now, it's a really important factor that and something that you need to be able to do in order to do yourself justice in the industry. Good evening, Chantal. Good to have you on. I hope you ladies are well. Now, we're going to delve deep on this one. So what on earth is network marketing? What do you come up with? What is your response if someone, one, asks you what it is that you actually do, or if they are direct and say, well, what is network marketing? And so many people struggle because they might not even have the knowledge or experience themselves to give a decent explanation of what network marketing actually is, and we're going to delve deep on that one. So as you hop on, obviously just let me know where you are dropping in from today. This one today is going to be something that you want to get shared around, so trust me, as I go through the content here, I've got a lot of stuff to chat through, which I'll share with you. Some of it will be of great value to you, because it's going to give you some great ammunition and great knowledge to back up very credible explanations of the industry and what it is that you do. You've frozen. Just give me some reactions if you can hear me now, guys, please. I've got that you are frozen. Hopefully that is resolved. Chantal, Yvonne, if you can just give me some, yeah, there we go, happy days, good stuff. So I'm back in. Now, as I was saying, this is one that's going to give you some great information yourself, so it's going to give you a ton of value which you can take away and work on your own explanation so that it's slick, and when you send a message to people, they know that you are a serious business person who is in a very credible organisation. So you may want to, if you have any, invite some, you know, team members along to watch. So you can't invite via the sharing function on the live. You might definitely want to share either now or towards the end. It may even be with relatives, so maybe your spouse, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, etc. Someone who is maybe unsure of what it is you're doing. Maybe they've given you a little bit of jip about it because they lack a decent understanding of what the industry is all about. So we're going to go through that today, and I know for sure you guys are going to get a ton of value from this. Right, so let's get straight into it. So remember, as Eric Worre always says, your job is to provide education and understanding to people. Now, I'm going to tell you something now, which may be a shock, it may be not. So a lot of people happen like this. So for me, personally, I've been in the industry almost 2 years now. And for me personally, prior to that, I didn't really understand what network marketing actually was. Therefore, you know, you hear on the grapevine other people speaking about the industry, and you get, you know, a misconception of what the industry is actually about. So for me personally, if I take you back a few years ago, maybe about 4 years ago, I actually had quite a negative opinion of the industry because I lacked the understanding, the knowledge and the understanding of the industry. And that is the same for most people. All they know is what they've heard someone else say. And you know how society works these days. Those sort of rumours spread like wildfire, and suddenly a lot of people think that you are part of a scam. And we're going to go through why that is not the case. So obviously my eyes have been opened. I developed as a person. I took a look at an opportunity a couple of years ago, and my eyes were forever opened. And that is what you have to offer other people when you provide education and understanding as to what the industry is all about. So if you would love to hear some cracking information as to what this industry actually is, so that you can take it and utilize that when people ask you what it is you do, maybe what is network marketing directly, drop me a 1 in the comments if you would like to take that information away. So let's get into it. So what if someone asks you what you do? Now, this is potentially when you are looking through the invite phase, and this, I'm going to touch on this slightly at the start because it's different to the main bulk of the topic today, but I want to just make sure you understand the two differences and when you would explain this. So if someone asks what you do, your job is to create curiosity. So you want them to be interested in what it is you do so that you can invite them to come and take a look at it. Now, it may be for them, it may not be for them, and that is totally cool. But what you try to do is create curiosity with your network, your prospects, so that they want to look at what it is that you do. And then upon them looking at the presentation or whatever your tool is that you use, they will decide whether or not that is for them. And obviously you have different skills you can learn in terms of closing and dealing with objections that can help you out in that respect. But as I said, that's not the bulk of it. But you need to get good in this context here. When someone says, what is it that you do? You need to have some really good one-liners that you can send back to people, whether it's via message, whether it's in person or on the phone, so that you can create curiosity. If you create curiosity in someone, they are absolutely you're going to have a successful invite. They are going to watch your company presentation, your team's presentation, whatever it is that you use, they're going to watch it. Now, I'll give you an example of a simple one-liner. So let's say somebody says to me, "Hey John, what is it you do?" I can simply say something like, "I help people retire 10 years early." Now, really, really simple and effective, but what does that tell you? So if you had that, so if you speak to me and say, "Hey John, what is it that you actually do? I've seen a lot of you on social media. What is it that you do?" And I say to you, "Well, what it is I do is I help people retire 10 years early." Now, drop me a 2 in the comments if that would have you curious as to what it was that I was actually doing. Obviously in the industry you pick up on these things, but for someone outside of the network marketing industry, that's going to perk their ears up and they're going to be like, help people retire 10 years early, that is interesting. And they're going to ask you, well, how do you do that? And then you can invite them to your presentation. So super easy, guys. That is not the bulk of what I want to talk about tonight, but I just wanted to make it clear that you have 2 questions in terms of network marketing. So the first question is, if someone doesn't actually know exactly what you do, they will say, what is it that you do? And I've just covered that. So the second question is, if they know you're in the industry, they may ask you, what is network marketing? What is it? So they may not know. There are millions of people that are oblivious to what the industry is, what it has to offer, and we're going to go through a lot of that content for the rest of the live tonight, which is going to give you a ton of value, and I know you're going to take a lot away from it. So the next thing, before we go into what you would reply and some information you need to go into bat with what is network marketing, remember when you reply to people, especially, you know my policy on this. If you can reply to someone by a voice note, or a telephone call, a video call, or in person, that's far more effective than you sending a message, because your energy, your enthusiasm, your excitement, and what you're about cannot be passed over properly if it's in a written message, a text message, Messenger, WhatsApp, all of the rest of it. So it's really effective when you do things vocally. But remember to do that, and you think about the communication stats. 7%, the impact of your communication, 7% of it is from the words you use. So they are really, really not too significant whatsoever. 38% of it is your tonality, so the way you say it, the range in your voice, your tone, and 55% of it is your physiology. So this is why it's so important that you get yourself in front of people. So if you can be face to face with people, if you can be on a video chat with someone, it is far more effective for you guys to get people invited, to follow up, to close, etc. You're going to have much different results if you do that. So let's get into it then. So network marketing is simply a method of distribution. Now, all it is, there is many different forms of distribution in terms of products and services that different businesses, different companies that they actually manufacture and distribute. Network marketing is simply a method of distribution. So what is the method of distribution inside of network marketing? It is simply word of mouth advertising. Now, it's super easy for you to understand and explain this really, but what I need to drop a stat in here with you is that 85%, let me just have a check on this actually. Yeah, so 85% of all buying decisions across the world are through word of mouth recommendation. So whether that's a friend, whether that's a family member, whether it's someone in a shopping centre or a store who recommends a product or a service to someone, or maybe they're online and it's a recommendation on there as well. So word of mouth recommendations make up for 85% of all buying decisions. So network marketing companies are purely taking advantage of the most powerful way to move products and services to customers. Simple as that, guys. So we're going to go through some more. So the company simply uses the money that they would conventionally use. If you think of a conventional company, they would pay for advertising, they would pay for real estate, infrastructure, they would pay for utility bills, they would pay for personnel and salaries within the store or the company that is actually a part of. So that is a lot of money locked up in all of those aspects. Then you've got the middlemen. So if there is, international distribution outlets, national distribution outlets, etc., etc., you've got so many different parts that the company pays money into. So what network marketing companies do is they alleviate paying all of those costs, and they simply pay independent distributors commission in order for them to go out there and word of mouth advertise their products and services to people. Super easy, guys. And that is it in terms of what the distributors and what the industry does. So they're missing out and cutting out all of that different financial costs that come to a company, and they are using that to pay people to communicate their message for them, to communicate the products with people, to communicate the services to people if it's a service-based company. That is the most effective way to retail products in the world. So it's super easy. Now, this is a stat. Now, if this, hey Sarah, good to have you on. Awesome. So guys, as I drop this stat at you, just drop me a 2 in the comments if you think this stat is incredible, because for me it was a real eye-opener when I heard it a couple of years ago. So the network marketing industry pays $200 million per day in commission to independent distributors across the planet. So the network marketing industry pays independent distributors across all different companies $200 million per day to move their products and services, to recommend the products and services to different people. It is an incredible stat and how much money is moving around the industry to distributors across the planet. Unbelievable. So why do they do it? Because it works. It is the most effective way to move products and services to a customer, is word of mouth advertising. You've just heard me talk about the stat of 85% of all buying decisions come from word of mouth recommendations. Really powerful. Now I'm going to give you an example here. It's a funny example, and it actually comes from a guy called Tim Sales, who I picked it up from. Now, if you think about the illegal drugs industry, I call it industry loosely, but the illegal drugs industry, that industry, the revenue within that industry is $360 billion annually. $360 billion. Where do you ever see anyone, any advertisement, billboards, any TV promotions for illegal drugs? Of course you don't see any, because they are illegal. How do they move drugs to people? It is word of mouth advertising. And that accounts for $360 billion illegal drugs industry. So you're using the same principle, albeit in an illegal sense, to move products and services to people. So why would you not take up that method of communication, that method of distribution to people, which is the most effective means on the planet? That is network marketing in a nutshell. So distributors are effectively paid to use and recommend the product or the service to people in their network, so their friends, their family, people they come into contact with. So a distributor within the industry will simply use the product or service. That way they have personal experience. They will love their product or service, otherwise they wouldn't be in the company, and they will recommend it to friends, to family, to people they meet, because they love that product or they love that service. Really effective way to do business. Now, so a distributor will earn a larger income by introducing other like-minded people to do the same. So they will simply help other people become successful, and when you help many people become successful within the network marketing industry, you get paid a lot of money. So it's different to a conventional business, where a lot of the time, so my old background in the military, a lot of the time people would step all over each other to get to the top and to move up through the ranks, to earn more money, to be in a higher position. The same as in the corporate world, people are pretty ruthless. Whereas inside the network marketing, what you have is a business model where you are paid more the more you can make other people successful. So it's really, really an incredible business model. Everyone is a network marketer, but not everyone gets paid for it. Exactly, Sarah. Yeah, so that we've got that common saying all the time where everyone recommends products and services every single day almost, but they just don't realise it, and they certainly don't get paid for it. Whether you go to the cinema and watch a movie and you recommend it to your friends and family, they will go and watch it based on your recommendation. You get paid. You don't get free popcorn. If you go to a restaurant, you do the same. You have an awesome meal at a restaurant. You recommend it to friends and family. They go visit the same restaurant. Again, they get more money. They get more revenue in that company and that business. You don't get diddly squat. So inside of network marketing, you obviously get paid for those same recommendations. So why wouldn't you do it? The dawn of the internet marketer. I want to mention something else here. So a lot of people inside the industry, guys, and if you know anyone that needs to hear this message, you're going to say this because some people have jumped on that weren't on at the start, that needs to hear this, you can invite them to the live now, or you can share it afterwards, because some people are going to really benefit from some of the content. It might be a naysayer who doesn't understand the industry you're in. It may be a family member, a husband, a wife, a girlfriend, boyfriend. It could be team members, absolutely anything, but it will really, really help you out for them to understand this. Now, one of the misconceptions that people have in the network marketing industry is that they have to be an extrovert. They have to be an out there person to be successful in the industry. But that is just not true, because there are tools in place for you to share your message, to share your business opportunity, to share your product or your service. So it's actually a lot easier than what it used to be, because we live in a world that is so connected and there is information everywhere. It's unbelievable. Now, we are at the dawn of the internet marketer. So for the introvert who doesn't like to actually network with people face to face, on the phone, on video calls, you can now use the internet to market your business, to market your product, to market your service. Now, there's something you have to be careful here, is there are ways that you can market your business, your product and your service effectively and professionally, and there is ways that you do it totally unprofessionally and you will ruin the reputation of the industry. But I have some awesome content that I'm going to be sharing over the coming weeks and months from all of my experience, where I now have leads coming to me every single day. Now, how good is that? So drop me, I can't remember what number we're on, I think it's 3. So drop me a 3 in the comments if you would like to have leads coming to you every single day, because people were interested in your business, interested in what it is you do, interested in your product or your service, because that is what you have available to you now with the internet, with social media, and with the marketing platforms that are here that we have at the minute. So really, really good. Now, let's turn the tables to a hot topic of discussion. So we are now going to talk the good old famous pyramid scheme. Now, this is something that is it's the nail in the coffin for a lot of network marketers, because they do not have a clue how to tackle this when someone says it sounds like one of those pyramid schemes. Now, what you need to understand, going back to my opening gambit, is that you are here to provide education and understanding. Most people, when they say that phrase, pyramid scheme, they have no idea what that even means. So you can simply say, hey, what do you mean by that? Do you have experience? What is it you mean by that? And most people will be like, I don't know. Dave down the pub told me about it. He said everything like this is a pyramid scheme. So that's pretty much how it goes. A lot of people don't understand it, but I'm going to go through from the government, so the UK government, in terms of their actual stipulation on what a pyramid scheme actually is. And then I'll give you what network marketing is, so that you actually understand it, because I have a lot of people in my organisation, a lot of people sidelines and different network marketing companies that simply don't have no idea what a pyramid scheme actually is. So if someone accuses you of being in a pyramid scheme and you don't actually know what one is, how on earth can you defend yourself? How can you actually go into conversation with that when you have no idea? So let's go through. I'm just going to read this off, guys, because obviously it's not something that I know verbatim. So a pyramid scheme, again, this is taken from a government website. A pyramid scheme fraud involves an alleged business opportunity which is driven only by recruiting others with a non-existent product or service. I'll say that again. A pyramid scheme fraud involves an alleged business opportunity which is driven only by recruiting others with a non-existent product or service. Legitimate trading schemes rely on goods and services, while illegal pyramid schemes focus on recruiting more and more investors. So what does that mean in layman's terms, guys? That means that a pyramid scheme involves recruiting endless amounts of people with no product or service at the other end of it. So if your network marketing company is all about recruit, and when you recruit people, they don't get any products, they don't get any services, then there is a good chance you may want to run from that company, because it's more than likely not somewhere legally that it's going to last too much longer. I'm kidding, I'm sure nobody's in that state, but for most, there is thousands and thousands of network marketing companies which are absolutely credible companies that have products or services that they simply move to different customers through word-of-mouth recommendation by distributors. So that is it, guys. If that definition of pyramid scheme has helped you out, drop me a 5 in the comments. So if that is new information to you and you can actually use that, drop me a 5 in the comments. What website did you take this from, John? I'd love to use this quote in the future. I will drop you a message after the live, Sarah. I cannot remember. Hopefully it's on my internet browser history. I just literally Googled for it. So I Googled pyramid scheme. I looked through for obviously a credible website, one that was, maybe police force or government, etc. And then I found one and took it from there. But if you need it, I can surely find it again. So that is a pyramid scheme, guys. So do not worry, you are not in a pyramid scheme. You are in a network marketing business, a legitimate business model which turns over $180 billion every single year and pays network marketing independent distributors $20 million every single day across the world. Unbelievable. Right, so guys, I'm going to close up this live with something that is going to help you out, and well, I hope it does anyway. So this is going to be life according to John. You'll put your own perspective on this, but this is going to be, my version of the golden question, i.e. what is network marketing? So I jotted this down earlier off the top of my head, taking into account some of the things that we've just spoken about. Now, pay attention as I go through this, because not only am I going to answer the question effectively, but I'm going to cover something that is a little bit, almost a subliminal message. I'm going to cover aspects which will tap in to each of the 4 coloured personalities. Now, if you know what the 4 coloured personalities are, drop me a 6 in the comments. I think we're at 6. So if you're familiar with them, drop me a 6, and you're going to be able to recognise some of the aspects of when I talk about this, what is network marketing, that will actually relate to different people. And if you use a story similar to this, it's going to bode very well for you, because you're going to tap in to almost any personality that you would ever come into contact with. Good stuff, Chantel. Good. She knows the colour personalities. Right, okay, so network marketing is a business model which pays people generous commission for recommending a company's products and services to other people. With 50 million distributors across the world, some of the benefits that come from being a network marketing professional include the following: earning additional incomes, travelling across the world on paid holidays, meeting hundreds of new friends, helping people with great products and services, promotions and recognition for their achievements, providing an abundance of training, support and information to help people succeed. For those with bigger aspirations, it provides an opportunity to replace a full-time income by building a team of like-minded people and helping them to also be successful recommending that same company's product or service. So if you like to make money, to travel for free, to help other people, or to meet lots of new friends, then you might want to check this incredible industry out. So guys, if you like that, give me some reactions, give me some thumbs up in the comments, and if you got value from the live tonight, just drop me value into the comments box. It would be good to see what you took. So as I went through all of that information, that sort of couple of paragraphs I just read you off there, you can see how it ties into different personalities. It sells the industry, not as a joke, not as a scam, but for what it actually is, what it does for 50 million independent distributors across the planet. It is absolutely an incredible industry, and you need to go out there proud as punch with your chest out and be proud to represent your company, be proud to represent the industry, and be proud to serve people, because that's what we do. We serve people with whether it is a business opportunity to give them an additional income, to give them a better quality of life, to give them time freedom, to give them products that impact their health, to give them products that make them feel good, to give them services that help them in their lives. All of these things are serving people across the planet. You need to be passionate, you need to be proud of it, and you need to go out there and then sing it from the rooftops. If you have that same posture, you have that same energy, that same excitement, and you are proud, you don't hide in the corner like a little mouse, and you know that this industry rocks, it creates tons of millionaires, it creates tons of successful people who live an abundant life that most people could only dream of. And as I said at the start, you can teach people to retire in 10 years. It is incredible. You can teach people and give them a business model which will allow them to retire within 10 years if they get to work and they do what is required inside of the industry. Not everyone will want that. Some people will be happy to just earn a little bit of money and just take the products or the service, and that's cool as well. So guys, hopefully you got value with that. If you did get value and you think anyone else could do with hearing this message, please tag them in the video. Feel free to share it to your personal profile, to your team page if you have one, and of course share it, inbox people with it if you prefer as well. But this is going to be a great insight for people who are in your network, for maybe your friends and family members that maybe don't agree with you inside the industry, maybe they don't understand it. I actually have been in the industry for a couple of years myself, and I actually read through the content from tonight's live with my own mum earlier, and she actually had a real eye-opener in terms of what the industry is about, what it is that I do on a daily basis. So it is a real eye-opener for people. So go out there, spread the message, and have an absolutely outstanding remainder of your evening. Guys, been a pleasure to have you on as always, and I will chat to you all soon.